Good evening once again, all CSP listeners and lovers of Chinese Chengyus. Laszlo Montgomery here with the Chinese Sayings Podcast, bringing you a quickie this time. I'll have you on your way in no time at all. Quick though this episode may be, it has a 24-karat provenance and comes to us direct from the Mengzi, or the Mencius, as it's also known. Zhu Xi, the great Neo-Confucian philosopher, grouped the Mengzi into the 4 books, the Sishu of Confucianism, the most essential of philosophical works. And from the chapter titled Gongsun Chou comes this gem. Gongsun Chou was one of Mengzi's disciples, and this Confucian book is a feast of dialogues, anecdotes, references from history, and a number of blue-chip Chengyus, one of which, Yuanmu Qiuyu, we featured ages ago back in Season 1. And our Chinese saying for this time is Yà Miáo Zhù Zhǎng. Let's break this one down like we always do. Yà Miáo Zhù Zhǎng. To yà something means to pull or to tug with an upwards motion. Now in some versions of this saying, the character yà is replaced with ba, which means basically the same thing. When you ba cao, you're pulling weeds. But for this episode, I'm going to stick with the character ya. And a miao is a young plant or a seedling or a sprout. Zhu means to help or to assist. And the last character, zhang, when used as a verb, means to grow or develop. Ya miao zhu zhang. Pull, sprout, assist, grow. Well, you might be able to catch a whiff of what these 4 characters mean, but once again, when you know the backstory, everything makes a lot more sense. So we open up the Mengzi to the section where he's having a conversation with his disciple, Gongsun Chou, and the second sage, as Mengzi was also called, Confucius being the great sage, of course, told Gongsun Chou about this farmer from the kingdom of Song. Song had its capital in Shangqiu, Henan province, right near the border with Shandong, and Confucius's father came from Song and ended up in Lu State, in case you were interested. Mengzi told of this farmer there who was stressing out something terrible over the seeds he had planted in his field. Every day he went out to work in his fields, and he kept wringing his hands about how slowly the sprouts seemed to be growing. He kept thinking, well, they should have been a certain height by now, but from the looks of things, well, something needed to be done to put things right. So one morning he went out into the field, bent down, and began ever so gently pulling on each individual seedling. He tugged on that sprout, and after spending the whole day in the field, he observed the results of his efforts to zhu zhang, or assist in their growth, and feeling satisfied that they appeared taller, he gathered up his things and returned home. And after this hard day's work, over dinner, this farmer proudly boasted to his family how tired he was after such an exhausting day. He went on to explain how nature seemed to not be working fast enough, and because of that, he had, one by one, Yà Miáo tugged on the sprouts in order to zhu zhang, assist the seedlings in their growth. And the farmer's eldest son, knowing his dad like he did, excused himself from the table to go out to the fields to see what his father hath wrought. And, fearing the worst, he found a whole field of seedlings, each one partially uprooted and already starting to shrivel and wilt away beyond salvation. With a feeling of grave disappointment, he saw that his father had gone and Yà Miáo Zhù Zhǎng. And as Mengzi explained to his disciple Gongsun Chou, there are few men who do not wish for their efforts to come to fruition as quickly as possible. Those who give up on their labors as too much hard work are like lazy farmers who do not weed their fields. On the other hand, those who are too aggressive and anxious to see results ASAP are just like that simple-minded farmer from Song who pulled his seedlings out of the ground in his attempt to speed their growth. Not only did that not help, it ended up hindering his harvest. Yà Miáo Zhù Zhǎng to pull a seedling, to aid its growth. This one's used for any kind of life situation to describe someone who is so impatient to grow or to succeed that in attempting to see quicker results, they end up taking actions that ultimately make them worse off than they were before. A common example often cited to go along with this Chengyu are these so-called tiger parents who exhaust their children by sending them to these bushiban cram schools while simultaneously enrolling them in sports, music lessons, and other preparatory classes, making plans to enroll their kids in Harvard or Peking while they're still in first grade. They too have been described as Yà Miáo Zhù Zhǎng. So no matter in your own family, in business, in agriculture, or in anything, sometimes when you Yà Miáo Zhù Zhǎng, you try and do whatever you can to push things along so that the gratification could come that much faster. But all you're doing is tugging on those sprouts to help them grow. You're not letting nature take its course. By going against nature and pushing things too fast, you end up doing some damage instead. Follow Mengzi's advice. Don't do it. And kids, too. Some children are in such a hurry to grow up. In elementary school, they're already trying to be teenagers. And teenagers become too anxious to become grown-ups. Through their actions, they attempt to push the laws of nature to their limit. Remember, as we say in English, slow and steady wins the race. Eep boo, baby. Oftentimes, there's no shortcuts in life. All right, that's all I got for you this time. Mengzi. He believed in the innate goodness of human nature. His mother wanted the best for him, but you didn't see Meng Mu attempting to Yà Miáo Zhù Zhǎng. And perhaps because of that, everything turned out just fine for her little Meng Ke. Okay, just like I promised, nice and quick, the way these CSP episodes were meant to be. I thank you all for stopping by and listening. This is Laszlo Montgomery signing off from the very same recording studios used by the CHP in wonderful Los Angeles, California, and I'm entreating you to come back again next time for another exciting episode of the Chinese Sayings Podcast.